Today was supposed to be a great day for Ponyville's local veterinarian. She had finally turned 20. There was a 2 at the beginning of her age. A 2! And yet, she could find no excitement in the momentous occasion, not with her friends all out of town on business. She supposed she couldn't blame them, though. They all had jobs that could require leaving Ponyville for weeks at a time. And she was just a vet. Not that there was anything wrong with that, of course. She loved animals. She could communicate with them in ways other ponies could only dream about. But it also meant being stuck in Ponyville when her friends were gone, and on a day like this, she didn't find it fair in the slightest. But alas, that's how life was for her, and she'd grown mostly accustomed to it. Looking over at her most precious pet, she let out a sigh. "I can't think of anything to do. Can you?" she asked, to which he simply replied by shaking his head and hopping off towards the kitchen. After a few seconds, she heard something smash into the ground and shatter, the sound making her wince. "Oh, this day has turned into such a disaster." Picking herself up off of the couch she had been resting on for the past hour or so, she trotted off in the direction the sound had come from. Upon reaching the source of it, she let out a gasp. "Oh no! The vase rarity got me for heartswarming! Oh, she's going to be so mad it's broken!" Quickly, she gathered up the supplies she needed to clean the mess up and went back to it. When she got there, however, she was surprised to see the vase unbroken, sitting on the pedestal that had become its home. "What the?" "You know, you should really take better care of your home, Fluttershy. We wouldn't want any of your animals to cut their tiny little feet after all." She knew that voice better than anyone, and though its owner couldn't see, she was smiling widely. Without a warning, she turned around swiftly and leapt on him, tackling him to the floor in a hug. "Egad! I know it's been a while since we've seen each other, Fluttershy, but you know how I feel about hugs." Quickly getting back on her feet, Fluttershy blushed. "Sorry, I'm just so happy to see you. But why are you here? I thought you had a meeting in Canterlot." "Celestia told me to take the day off and come spend some time with you." "Something about strengthening our friendship," he answered, smiling. "But if I'm being totally honest, I was going to come anyways." "Oh, really? The Lord of Chaos skipping out on an important meeting? How unexpected," Fluttershy replied sarcastically, to which she and Discord both giggled. "But really, thank you." "Oh, it was nothing really. Any chance to get out of a meeting about the trade policies of Equestria." He furthered his statement by shoving his finger into his mouth and making a bleh noise. "Well, it still means a lot to me, especially with everyone else out of town right now. I have my pets, but sometimes they're just not enough." "You mean until I came here, you were alone? But it's your birthday. Nobody should be alone on their birthday." "It's okay. I don't mind," she lied, and quite obviously so. Her gloomy look was not lost on Discord, but the Draconiquist decided not to push the matter any further though, lest he do something like make her cry. "Well, I brought something that might brighten up your day. It's nothing much, but it's something I thought you might enjoy." "Oh, you didn't have to get me anything, Discord." "Nonsense! You only turned 20 once, after all. I remember my 20th like it was yesterday." "Oh? What did you get?" she inquired, curious to see if he could remember something from over 1,000 years ago. I got imprisoned in stone, he replied, somewhat grimly. Immediately, Fluttershy regretted asking her question and began berating herself. Discord stopped her, however, in the form of a zipper forming over her mouth and closing. It's okay, Fluttershy. Looking back on it, I'm glad it happened. But why? She was confused, and rightfully so. How could anyone be glad to have been trapped as a statue for over 1,000 years? His answer stunned her. Because I would never have met you if I hadn't been Fluttershy, he said shyly. He still had trouble sharing his feelings with others, so Fluttershy found it especially nice that he had said something like that to her. Darn it, that sounded too sappy. I didn't think so. It sounded nice, and I'm glad you cherish our friendship as much as I do. She smiled back, eyes closed. They were forced open, however, when a large box was shoved in her face without any warning. Huh? What's this? That's your present. I'd love to stay and watch you open it, but I kind of lied about Celestia telling me to come here. I should be getting back to Canterlot before she enters one of her moods. But it was great seeing you again, Fluttershy, he interrupted her. Au revoir, he exclaimed. At that, he snapped his fingers and disappeared from her home. The shy pony he had left alone was a mix of sad and happy. She was sad to see him go, but happy that he had come to visit her in the first place, even if it had been very brief. Turning her attention back to the box at her feet, she smiled. As she ripped away the wrapping paper and took the lid off of the box, her mouth made an O shape. Her feelings began to get the better of her as she took the gift out of the box, and a few tears escaped from her eyes. It was a statue of the two hugging, with the words "For Butterslice" engraved at the bottom. The silly nickname made her giggle, and she knew he had to have come up with it on the spot. Looking back in the box, she noticed there was a note to go along with it, so she picked it up and began reading it. Sorry I had to leave so soon, Fluttershy, but I promise we'll talk again soon. That is, if Celestia ever stops having these silly meetings. But I just wanted to wish you a very chaotic birthday, and I hope you enjoy the gift. It only took me a snap of the fingers to make it, but it took almost 3 weeks to get the design just right in my head. Heh, look at me, planning things. Ahem. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and don't break that statue like you broke Rarity's vase. Yours chaotically, Discord. As Fluttershy folded back up the note and placed the statue on the end table next to her couch, she couldn't help but smile. Thank you, Discord.